Here we go. So let me see if the bar is going to go all the way across. It says done. So I think we are live on my page. All right. So here we go, y'all. So let me just make sure that we are live
You
before
are. I
we
see you.
you see me. All right. So the title of this is I wasn't going to do this, but. And the crazy thing is, before I even got on here, and I am not a nervous or shy person. I like to talk and run my mouth. I felt, I don't know, I was getting tense, and the freaking Zoom wouldn't even go live on Facebook. And I was like, see, Shantae, I'm not supposed to be doing this because the system kept glitching. So I'm gonna tell y'all what this is about in a second. Shantae is on here with me. You can't see her right now because her camera is turned off and her volume is muted. But when I told her I was doing this, she was like, "You not gonna tell them all the good stuff." So I'm hopping on with you so that when you try to sneak away from sharing the good stuff with them, I'll be able to turn on my camera and turn on my volume and interrupt the crap out of you and be like, Rebecca, no, wait, hold up, you forgot to tell them this. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now, there are going to be some people that are going to get some nuggets from this. That is the only reason that I'm doing it, because I just feel like, I don't know, if 1,000 people watch this video and 5 people get what I'm saying, then I've done my job or whatever. So y'all know that I talk about personal development a lot, right? I talk about personal development a lot. I talk about you growing yourself as a person. We talk about your mindset. We talk about all of those different things. And we kind of leave it there, right? And there's a little bit that we haven't, or I haven't, I guess I should say, share. And the reason why I wasn't going to do this is because half of y'all will think I'm effing crazy after you watch this. And I'm okay with that. And then the rest of y'all are going to be like, yeah, it doesn't work. And then maybe like 2 to 5 people are going to actually try it and completely change their freaking lives. And I don't know why I am so nervous right now and my heart is beating fast, but I guess that is negative energy trying to scare me from sharing what I'm about to share with y'all. So I am really, really, really big on manifestation, law of attraction, and attracting what you want in your life. Let me be very clear. Your personal development, your spiritual development, and manifestation are all 3 separate categories. So whatever you are working on spiritually to build your relationship with God, like I am currently reading the Bible, I'm doing a challenge with myself. I just woke up one day and said, hey, I want to read the Bible in a year. I start Ruth tomorrow. That's one section, right? That is my spiritual growth that I'm working on. Then I have my personal development, where I might be reading Grit or Les Brown or John Maxwell about leadership, or, you know, the one thing, whatever it is. That is my personal development. How I want to grow as a person, how I want to sharpen my leadership skills, how I want to go from good to great to relentless to unstoppable. Those books help me with personal development. Then one day I kind of stumbled on manifestation, which is completely something different. And this is when you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I don't care because it works. It is what it is. Manifestation is a completely different level of personal development and spiritual development. I almost can say it's like a mixture of the two. So I guess so that this is not an extremely long live and I kind of get to it, this is kind of how I came upon it. So a couple of years ago, I stumbled on, and I'll drop the links in the message right now. I stumbled across this guy by the name of Neville Goddard. Some of you may have heard of him. Some of you may have never heard of him. Neville Goddard is known as the godfather of the imagination. And if you study Neville Goddard and you listen to Neville Goddard, and I just dropped the 2 links that I got started with in the chat, in the comments, whatever. If you study Neville Goddard, or if you ever heard of Neville Goddard, you know that he goes way back. It's really, really old. His recordings are so old that you know how it is when you listen to an old record player. Like, you have to get in a very, very quiet place and make sure that you are really focused, because it's the static and stuff that you're going to hear in the background. That's how old it is. And so I don't even know how I stumbled upon him. I stumbled on it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember. And I started to listen to it, and it really intrigued me. And one of the first things that he talked about is he's very spiritual, but he makes the connection between God and us. Now, please understand, and for those of you who know me personally and who follow me, you know that I believe in God. Jesus is my homie. You know that I'm reading the Bible. You understand that I give him all praise, all of that good stuff. So please, for the love of Jesus, do not take my words and twist what I'm about to say. I'm going to be very clear in what I'm about to say. Please do not try to twist my words and turn them into something else. Now, as believers, we place God on a pedestal, which we are supposed to, right? We place God way up here because he is the beginning, he is the end. He has done all these amazing things. He died for our sins. He has all these powers, you know, all the different things that we learn. I'm not done reading the Bible. I'm still going, but all the different things that we learn. So we place God here, right? But we, for some reason, seem to forget, or we don't pay attention to the part of the Bible. And when I get there, I'll be able to quote it specifically. But we forget the part of the Bible that tells us that we have God-like powers inside of us, right? It's almost like organized religion is used as a crutch. When something is wrong, when we can't figure it out, we pray to God, right? But we do not take any action. It's like we all of a sudden we become crippled. We forget that some of those same powers are inside of us. So if you listen to the 2 links that I dropped by Neville Goddard, he teaches that. Now, here's the question that I'm going to ask you. If you have some of those same powers inside of you, God-like powers, then why aren't you able to manifest and produce some of the things that you want in your life? That would be the question that I want to ask you. Now, I saw that Kai was on here. Both of her and I did an experiment with hangers, and I still have these hangers sitting over here. Hold on the floor. And the purpose of this experiment was to teach you how powerful your mind really is. The experiment has straws, and there's 2 metal hangers that have been, wire hangers that have been stretched out. And if you go back on my page, because I'm not going to do it now because I got to focus, and like I'm super nervous right now because I feel like I'm not supposed to be doing this live, like I'm letting out the secret. But when you do the experiment, your brain energy, and when you think negative thoughts, these 2 wires will completely cross each other. Basically, your mind is closed. They cross. When you think positive thoughts, they swing open all the way. If you notice, you can't control this. It does what it does. So your mind can literally control these hangers. If you do not believe me, that's cool. But I did the experiment, and Kai did the experiment, and we both have it on our pages. We did it for proof. So you can go back and watch it, okay? So my question to you is, if you have that power inside of you, then why aren't you using it to manifest what you want in your life? So here we go. When I was completely broke, $0, bank account negative, depressed, crying every single day, I started a process of manifesting what I wanted in my life. And I'm looking at Shantae, just looking and smiling. I'm waiting for her to cut me off and say, Rebecca, you didn't tell them this part. Um, and I feel so freaking nervous and emotional and everything right now. Like, I promise you, this is how real energy is. Like, I feel like something is tapping me on my shoulder, like, you're not supposed to be doing this. All right. So during that time of my life is when I started to learn about manifestation. When you listen to those links about Neville Goddard, he will tell you the proper way to manifest and he will give you options. The way that works best for me is I create a scene in my mind and I play that scene over and over and over again. And that scene includes everything that I want to happen. So, in a point in my life when I was broke, when my bank account was negative, when I was clinically diagnosed with depression, when I was driving to work every single day crying in my school parking lot, when I was not in a relationship at all, none of that stuff. This is the scene that I came up in my mind. It was like a 10-minute scene. It's like a movie I would play. I would wake up in the morning. I would put my feet on the side of my bed. I could tell you what my house looked like, what it smelled like. I could tell you what the countertops felt like. I can tell you what color they are. I can tell you what music is playing. I can tell you what it looks like when I look out of my window. I can tell you what the house next door looks like. I can tell you what the house to the right looks like. Why? Because I'm in control. It can look like whatever I want it to look like. I wake up in the house of my dreams. I look to the side of me. My husband, I was single. My husband was laying in the bed next to me. I would get up, I would open the windows. I have a floor to ceiling window in my bedroom. I would open the windows. It would not be daylight yet. My body is banging, by the way. I go ahead, I get dressed. I would go for a run around my neighborhood. As I'm running, I'm looking at the beautiful scenery. It's a gated community. The houses are amazing. I come back into the house. I go ahead, I get dressed, my personal development, all that stuff is happening. Once I get dressed, I walk downstairs. My mom, y'all know my mom. My mom is downstairs cooking breakfast. She does not live in my house, but the house that I now own has a house in the back behind the pool. So the size of the house that I live in now is like the size of the house that my mom lives in the back. She saw me when I was going for my run. That's her cue to come in the house. She cooks breakfast. She does whatever she does. Y'all know that's my boo. Then I go ahead and I hop in my car. My car is a black sports car. At the time, I was driving a broken down Toyota Camry and my oil was leaking on my car. Every time I parked, there was a puddle of oil. But in my dream, I was driving a black sports car. I would get into this black sports car. I would drive to the bank by my house and I would walk into that bank and I would say hey to everybody. Everybody knew my name. Hey, Miss Garrett, how you doing? How you doing? I would walk up to the cashier. I would take money out. I would walk to the back of the bank and put money into the safe deposit boxes. I would then leave the bank and I would continue with my day. I would do speaking engagements. I would do book signings. I would do all this different stuff. Then I would come home to my house with my husband, my child, my mom, all of that other kind of stuff. And that was that. So that was the story I would play. And I feel like I'm about to cry, Lord Jesus. That is the story that I would play. And of course, she turns on her camera when I say I feel like I'm about to cry. That is the story that I would play in my head every single day. Y'all, oh my God, what is wrong with me? I knew I'm not supposed to be doing this live. Okay, so that is the story that I would play in my head every single day. I played that story in my head for 2 years when I was at the lowest point in my life, the lowest. And it was almost like that was my saving grace. That was my story. That's how I would get up every morning and I would go to bed every night. And when you listen to Neville Goddard, he's going to teach you, I am not supposed to be doing this live. This is why I am crying. This is crazy. when I would listen to Neville Goddard, he would teach you that your subconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and what's not real as of yet. And your conscious mind knows the difference. So when you guys are thinking about all the stuff you want, you're thinking about it while you're wide awake, and your brain will not allow you to even make room for those blessings because you don't believe it to be true. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. Think about when you go to bed and you have a dream and you wake up and you like, oh my God, that dream was so freaking real. Like you feel like the dream was happening. It's because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. When I was in school, just a backstory, I wanted to be a child psychologist. I used to study the different stages of sleep and REM sleep and all that stuff. I'm telling you, there is a science behind all of this. And so I used to lay down. You can't go to bed exhausted. You have to go to bed fulfilled. So you lay down at night, fully awake, fulfilled, ready to go to bed, and you play whatever your story is in your mind over and over. Y'all, that was the story I played in my mind. If I fast forward to today, I have not yet purchased that house. Let me be clear though, but that's because I want to purchase my dream house in cash because I don't want a mortgage. I have started to go to look at houses, and I have not decided what I'm going to purchase because I know I've seen this house in my head. And until I see that exact house, that's not the house for me because I've seen the house already. But remember, I told you I turned around in my bed and my husband was there. Since then, I have gotten engaged. What else he teaches you is you have to make room for your blessing. So for women who are watching, let's say for example, you want to get engaged, you want to get married. If you're sleeping all over your bed, or you're the person who, when you go to the club, you take a million clothes out of the closet and you leave that stuff on your bed and you just slide it over. You get on one side of the bed and the other side of your bed is all crowded. You're not making room for what you asked for. There's no room for nobody else to get into that bed with you. You're not preparing for your blessing, so it's not going to come. So I remember I rolled over, my husband was in the bed. Since then, I've gotten engaged. In addition to that, remember I said that I drove a black sports car. I have had two black sports cars since then. At the time, I was driving a broken down Camry with oil leaking. I purchased, my first car was a black Mercedes limited orange edition. That is not the car I went to go purchase. My second car that I'm driving right now is a black Porsche Panamera Sport. That is not the car that I went to go purchase. And I don't even freaking like black cars that much. Honestly, I'm guessing, I really feel like it just happened because that's what I manifested in my dream. But that's not what, I went to the car lot to purchase. I now go to the bank that I used to see in my mind when I walk through the bank. I promise y'all on my child, every single person in that bank knows my name. The exact scene that I saw in my head when I was broke, when my bank account was negative, when I had nothing. That same scene is exactly what has happened. I walk through that bank. Every single person from the front all the way until I get to that counter knows my name and they speak to me. I take money out. I go to the back room. I do what I have to do. Exactly how I saw it is exactly what happened. I leave there. I have been on stages to speak. I have done almost everything that I saw has happened. And so now I have created a new dream in my head that I play out over and over and over again. Y'all, I cannot explain to you the power that you possess. Again, I really feel like I wasn't even supposed to let this cat out of the bag. We tried to hit live like 10 times and the computer wouldn't go live. I have no freaking idea why I'm so emotional and crying right now. I told Shantae I'm nervous as fuck. I do not think that we're supposed to do this. And I'm not a nervous person. I'm telling you, it works. If a couple of people just believe me, that's all I need. You have to live. Shantae is on here because I'm gonna forget some stuff and she gonna ask me some questions. But I remember one of the things that she talked about was expectation. You have to live your life in expectation. Some of you have a hard time professing and declaring what you want. You feel bad to say you want to be wealthy or filthy rich, or you want a lot of money, or you want to earn 100,000 or $1 million in a month. Why? If that's what you want, say it, claim it. I think the reason you have a hard time with that, and I'm gonna step on some toes, is because you're selfish. Because if you were not selfish and you wanted to help others, you wouldn't have a problem saying that. I don't have a problem saying that, because the more that God gives me, the more people I can help. So I have no issue with claiming what I want, because it's not for a selfish reason. So you have to put it out there in the atmosphere. The universe is like freaking water. If you do not cave in, it will move out of your way and give you everything that you want. But y'all give in and up so freaking easy. As soon as something doesn't go your way, you quit. You have to live in a current state of expectancy. I expect everything to go my way. I don't know if Kai is still on here, but she go laugh when I say this. I believe that the universe conspires for everything to work in my good. I say that every single day. Kai will tell you that I am that person. I don't care if the flight leaves at 12:30. I'm leaving my house at 11:30. She'd be like, "Are you at the airport yet?" "No, I'm on my way." I'm not rushing. You know why? I truly believe the flight not gonna leave me. The universe conspires for everything to work in my good. It's gonna be there when I get there. And I promise you, we have only missed one flight, one. And I have caught hundreds. We have only missed one. So you have to live in a state of expectancy. If you're building a business, you should expect to attract the people that you want. If you are looking to whatever, like, you have to live in a state of expectancy. I wake up every single day expecting a blessing. I wake up every single day expecting the world to conspire for everything to work in my good. I wake up every single day expecting God to put the right people in my path. I wake up every single day expecting everything to go the exact way that I want it. And when it doesn't, I expect to learn a lesson from it. It's not failure. I just expect every single day. So now that I am a complete mess, what am I supposed to add, or what? Because it's a lot of levels to this. It goes really, really deep, y'all. But I don't think y'all ready for that. So I just said it's either now or never, or I'm never gonna do this. So I gave y'all the surface level. So Shantae, what is it?
My question was, so what do you think? Well, I asked you two questions, so you can kind of put them together if you would like. What should someone do if they're kind of on the path to wanting to upgrade their belief and their expectation? And what do you think are the hangups for a lot of people? Because I know you and we talk about a lot of limiting beliefs and things that really stop us from getting, from allowing us to even believe that we're worthy of certain things. And that's the reason why I wanted to be a part of this, not because this is my live, but just to make sure that she gave the information that she always gives me, because what you get, what you expect. And I've always believed that, but being attached to Rebecca has definitely increased what that looks like in a really big way. It's changed my life in a lot of different ways. Even this home that I'm in, I really saw myself in this place, you know what I mean? So sometimes I trip out at how I imagined everything to look in here, and it's exactly how I wanted it to look. So Rebecca, my question is, what do like I said before, what do you think stops us, and how does someone kind of get started? Now, I want to say for the for the person that watches, I'm not as knowledgeable as Rebecca, which is why this is on her page and definitely not on mine, because I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as she is. But I do believe that there is, life and death in your tongue. I do believe that we don't expect much. I do believe that we're sometimes trained and programmed to just get whatever is handed to us. We're really conditioned to settle. We're really conditioned to give up easily. We're really conditioned to just take just anything. I mean, literally, and just be like, oh, okay, and we never challenge that. We never, look for miracles or signs or wonders. We never look for them. We just, think that they're just reserved for, the Bible, but miracles, signs, and wonders can be done now. And although Rebecca hasn't gotten to that part in the Bible yet, she is going to get to the part where it says, and you will do greater things than this. So even what was done in the Bible, it's like, y'all going to do better than what we did in here. So I really wanted to get an idea from you, Rebecca. What do you think stops us, and how do we kind of get started if we don't know anything about it?
That is a loaded question, and I'm going to try to answer it as in short as possible. And I actually feel like that when I was in the classroom, and why do I feel emotional again? I actually feel like when I was in the classroom, I was actually just I'm not going to say a big part, I'm going to say a small part of the problem, because when I closed my door, I did something different with my kids. It is so deep. Like it is, and I know you love deep conversations, but we're not about to get that deep. But it is very, very deep from the time that we are children. From the time that we are born, we are told what we can do and what we cannot do. From the time we are born. When we go to school and people ask us what we want to be when we grow up, even as children, if it's not what the teacher feels like you should say, they tell you, like, no, you should come up with something else. Your entire life, you're conditioned to fit inside of the box that society wants you to fit in. Your entire life, you are groomed to be an employee, not an employer. Your entire life, you are taught all of the wrong shit almost. And so it's kind of like in your adult life, when you find this stuff, you have to do a lot of rewiring in your brain. And I'm not going to front, it's not easy. A lot of you guys know I have an amazing relationship with my mom, but I'm going to be very 100 with you right now. My mother does not believe in manifestation. My mother does not believe in a lot of the stuff that I believe in. And if I allowed that loving relationship that I have with my mother to stop my belief system, I would still be in the classroom right now. My mom was the safe mom. Don't leave teaching. Don't do that. I don't think that's a good idea. Just stay there. Like, you have degrees, you have a teaching career, you can be an administrator, you can do that. But I didn't want to do that. I knew that there was more. It's like breaking generational bondage. Like I said, it is really, it is deep, because you are a product of not only your environment, but what your family and your family beliefs are grounded in. So whatever, if your family is like, oh baby, when you made 50,000 a year, you made it. When you made 100,000 a year, you made it. You feel like you made it. But it's people out here making 50,000 and 100,000 a month. And you're talking about, I made it because I made that in a year. No. And it's not that oftentimes they're trying to keep it from you, but they don't know. So you have to seek that knowledge on your own. So when you say, where do you start? I would say that number one, if you're talking about starting with manifestation, those two links are very important. The second thing would be, I am really big on two books right now, which in trust and believe, Amazon is not paying me. I don't have no link to drop you or nothing like that, so I'm not getting paid. But the two books are Outwitting the Devil and E Squared. You guys have heard me talk about those books like crazy. And Outwitting the Devil is not a manifestation book, but it's going to help you unwire all that tangled stuff that you have been taught your entire life. So as we like to say, you can become woke. All right. That's what Outwitting the Devil is going to do. E squared is going to help you with 9 experiments that you can do by yourself at home, which cost you $0 to $5, to help you harness the power that you have and the energy that you possess. That's where I got the wire hanger experiment from. And so I'll drop those 2 books in the comments as well. When you read Outwitting the Devil, if this is something brand new to you, I highly suggest that you skip chapters 1 and 2 and wrap back around and come to those 2 chapters at the end, because if not, they're going to bore you to death. If you've ever read Think and Grow Rich, you know Napoleon Hill is not really animated and colorful. And so those first 2 chapters are going to drive you crazy. I want to say this before we go any further, and Shantae ask me anything else. I am not an expert on this subject. I have not written a book. I'm just telling you what has worked for me in my life and where I came from and what it has done. And I'm just sharing the information with you, because it doesn't do any good if I keep it to myself and nobody else can benefit from it. So that's where I would say I would start. Now, as far as your limiting beliefs, again, that's generational bondage. There's no other way to say it. And that is really hard. You have to learn how to cut off some people. You have to learn how to stop talking to everybody about everything. I just told you guys I have an extremely loving relationship with my mother. I'm not about to talk to my mom about what I'm talking to y'all about on live right now, because I love her so much and our relationship is so strong that if she says something negative and that she doesn't believe in it, it's going to start to get me down. It's going to soak into my spirit. That's my mom. I respect her opinion, and her opinion doesn't jive with what I believe, and it will make me start to self-doubt. The moment you start to have self-doubt, you're going to start to self-sabotage, and you cannot, just like you can't pray and worry. It's the same thing. You can't pray for God to take care of it. You're supposed to pray and release, not pray and worry. Because if you're praying to him and you say you believe that he is going to get it done, and then you turn around and worry, God knows your heart. You basically just told him, oh, I don't believe that you're going to be able to handle it, so I'm about to sit here and worry myself to death. It doesn't work like that. You have to wholeheartedly believe what it is. So those people who do not align with your beliefs, stop talking to them, because they're not going to have anything positive to say. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am, you did. So you let us know how to get started. You let us know how to kind of move forward with limiting beliefs. And I'll just share this. And then honestly, you gave a lot of great tips, and you also provided a lot of the stuff in the chat. So I don't want to make the video long-winded. I think what I can say, I know for me with my, I know you said that, cutting off relationships and stuff like that, if you're, when it comes to limiting beliefs, but, was there ever a time, when you started to dream for the life that you have now, where you doubted it? And when you did, if that did happen, what were the things that you did to get yourself back into a place of expectation? You also said that you were clinically diagnosed to have depression. So that's definitely a very hard place to create anything beautiful when you're kind of in that mindset. So my question is, with you having that kind of stuff in your background, how did you kind of get out of that place? How did you move yourself forward to where you were happier, where you were expecting more? I mean, I know you listen to the videos, but I mean, you can't feel great every single day. So what are some things that you do to kind of get yourself back into that place of expecting?
That is a great question. So this is where you definitely have to know the difference between the 3 categories. So you have your spiritual development, your personal development, and then your manifestation, or whatever you want to call it. 3 separate categories. So Shantae is absolutely correct. If I am feeling discouraged, if I am down, and if I am whatever, I'm going to be very real with you. Reading the Bible, because I'm going from front to end, and like I said, I don't know everything. So I'm not a scripture girl yet. So I'm not even that person that can say, oh, let me hop to this scripture because it's going to feed my soul. The reason I'm reading the Bible, and just to be real, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, is because I want to know myself. I don't want Shantae to have to give me a scripture. I don't want the pastor, even though, yes, he can go ahead and he can disseminate the information and give it to me, but everybody's going to have their own perception of what they read, I want to know for myself. So where I am right now in my journey, the Bible is not an easy read. I'm not going to the Bible when I feel discouraged and upset, because I am not at that place yet where I can hack to a scripture to give it to me. I'm also not going to go to my stuff about manifestation when I am in a low place either, because you have to be in a good place to manifest mentally. You have to be in a place of expectancy and bringing positive energy and putting positive stuff out into the universe. So for me, when I am in that place, that's where the personal development is key. When I am at my first, let me say this. Nobody has a good day every single day. Please don't think I have a good day every single day. Like, I call my friends and I'm like, I quit. Today is horrible. I'm not doing shit today. I don't want to hear it. I'm over it. Everybody makes me sick. I want to throw my computer, both of my phones out the window. I'm ready to strangle Garrett and my mom. I don't want you to think that I'm perfect. I have those days. Here's the difference. You can't dwell there. You're allowed to have a day, maybe two. I don't want to sound insensitive. If you have had a death in your family or someone very close to you has hurt you, that's a completely different level of healing. That's something that Shantae talked about on a different live. You have to work through that and you have to heal. I'm just talking about the regular ups and downs of life. Like, sometimes you wake up and have an attitude and you just not with it. Other days you wake up super positive. So I do allow myself to feel the emotions. Like, if something is really bothering me, I need to figure out what it is. But typically, y'all, let's be real. Most times we complain about shit that's so irrelevant. There are people that are wishing and praying that they had what you have, and they are taking what you're complaining about and they're doing more with it than you ever will. That's just the reality of it. So if you are feeling that way, and when I'm feeling that way, that's when personal development is key. That's when I want to hear Eric Thomas screaming in my ear. That's when I want to hear Les Brown. That's when I want to hear Lisa Nichols. That's not the time that I personally want to sit and read. That's when I'm hopping on YouTube and I'm typing in something, or I'm getting on Audible and I'm listening to something. I'm also a music person. I don't know if you guys ever heard this before, but motion is what creates emotion. So if I have an attitude, and I want you to try this. If you have an attitude, find your favorite song, turn it on, and start jumping around like you're crazy. I promise you, it's almost like the attitude just disappears. But instead, most of the time when we get an attitude, we just want to sit there and have a bigger attitude and just keep adding stuff on it over and over and over again. So it's about being in control of your emotions. You can't control what happens to you on a day-to-day basis, but you can control how you react to it. Stop giving people in situations your emotions, your time, and your energy, because they don't deserve it. You have to learn discernment. You have to learn what deserves your time, energy, and emotion, and what does not. So for me, I will definitely say, when I was diagnosed with depression and when I was in a place where it was just like, honestly, I don't want to play with this, so I want to be very careful when I choose my words. I did not oftentimes have suicidal thoughts, so I want to be very clear. But there were times when I was driving home and I literally would think to myself, I wonder if anybody would miss me, or I wonder if it would even matter if I drove onto the other side of traffic and just like, let's just see what's gonna happen. That is where I was. Reading the Bible for me was not going to take me out of that spot. Trying to do manifestation, my mind was all messed up. That was not going to work at that time. The only thing that for me, and everybody is different, for me, it was finding those people I could listen to with personal development, Or if it was spiritual related, it was for me a YouTube video, a sermon, or somebody who was my style. My style might not be your style. You might not like Eric Thomas. I also like Gary V. He's a real cool white dude. He cusses every other word. Fuck is his favorite word. So if you don't like cuss words, you're not going to want to listen to Gary V. I can't even pronounce his last name, Gary Boca. I don't know. But I love him. That is my style. That might not be your style. So you have to find whatever that thing is. And I can't live without music. Music is my, like, I don't have to ever watch TV again in life, but I would die without music. So music and personal development is what got me through. Once mentally, I did not want to drive onto the other side of traffic anymore. That's when I was able to start to create this picture of what I wanted. And it became my happy place. It became that place of joy. I used to be excited to go to bed at night because I wanted to lay down and play this vision in my head to escape the reality that I was currently in. And it just became a part of me.
I love that. So I want to just leave this closing thought with everyone because I know Rebecca was nervous to do this. But here is why I thought it was important for her to share it. We're going into the end of the year. I think it's really good to have things like this when we're reflecting, because this is the time when everybody is reflecting. So I really thought, I was like, you gotta, talk about expectation. I was like, you gotta talk about expectation. And she was like, no, I don't want to talk about that. And she was like, what should I do? I was like, you need to talk about expectation. That's my final answer. Like, forget it. I don't care if you don't want to do it. She was like, oh, and then randomly she was like, okay, I'm going to do it right now because I'm still sitting here. And I just really, what I wanted her to convey to you guys is, take the bits that are from whatever you need to kind of get yourself to the place where you want to go. I think it's important for more of us to be exposed to expectation. I think that something happened, I know for me personally, when you change your circle and you're around different people, you start to get exposed to different things. And I believe that God exposes us to different things for a reason. You start to, your belief starts to change. You start to believe for more. You start to believe bigger, right? And so I know I always, thought, you get what you expect, But, I think, being attached to Rebecca helped me think about it bigger. And anyone who knows me knows I'm, more of the church girl compared to Rebecca. We are definitely, I call her my big sis, and we are definitely different. Where she's strong, I'm weak, and where I'm weak, she's strong, so we kind of balance each other out, so I don't totally, have as much of an open mind as Rebecca. That's the best word to say. She's more open-minded about certain things than me, and I'm a little bit more kind of set in my ways in certain things. And that's just because everybody knows my family is full of pastors and preachers. So anything that start to kind of go off, I'd be like, okay, y'all really trying to think. But, what I thought was really important was that she provided so many practical tips about how to expect. And then I want you guys to start to think through those limiting beliefs that you guys have, because this is what I mean, Rebecca, I always call her my mentor, but you guys, a mentor is really just a mental tutor. Rebecca and I have a lot of mental conversations. We do business together, but I mean, what we do in business is not that goddamn hard. So, I mean, we don't talk about it all day long, but my mentality, what I believe for, what I expect for, that's what she holds me accountable to. She tells me when I say the words the wrong way. Don't say that. Say you will do this. No, don't say that. Do that. That's what she does. But she's my mental tutor. She helps me expect for more. And when I don't expect much, or when I say, oh, it's okay if I don't get it, she doesn't let me settle. You know what I mean? And so, you guys, it's so important for you to have people in your life that don't let you settle. that don't let you fall off on the side of the road, that don't let you be broken. And I wanted her to just do the live, to just expose some more people, because we're going into a time when you're going into a new year, and there's no telling what God can do in this month. And there's no telling what God's going to even do in 2020. And I would dare you to think.
Okay, I just gotta say this, and I'm not again, Shantae. We are so opposite. So don't start preaching and praying, and don't.
I'm not gonna pray. I'm not gonna pray.
But all I'm gonna say is, I feel, and you probably gonna think I'm crazy. I don't care, but when I tell you that the way that God is about to show up and show out for December in 2020, all of the floodgates about to open, baby. I cannot even, nobody can convince me otherwise. It is about to be a raining of unnatural blessings for those people who have an open mind, of course, have a connection with God, and they are living in a place of expectancy. I truly believe, I y'all don't even know. I'm telling you, I wish you, girl.
Y'all, she acted like that because the floodgates already opening right now with hers. There's so much stuff that's happening in her life that y'all don't know about, that one day maybe she'll tell y'all. But I know personally what she's going through, and it just seemed like everything she touched is turning to gold in 2.6 seconds. And it's hilarious. But it's really inspiring to watch. And I wanted her to do the live in that place where she is right now. I think that's probably why she's crying and why she's so overwhelmed with all this emotion, because everything she's touching is just oh yeah. It's just it's insane. Like I said, she'll have to tell it. I can't testify like she can about what's going on for her. But Rebecca, thank you for doing this live. I hope a lot of people found value. I need y'all to do me a favor, because Rebecca wouldn't say this. If you guys got value from this, comment below, say what you learned about it. Just drop it down, because Rebecca did not want to do this live, and I want to prove to her that what she did added value. I want this to prove to her that she helped somebody, that she changed somebody's life and helped them believe for more. So y'all do me this favor. She's not going to ask for it, but I'm asking for you guys. Comment below if this helped you. Tag somebody. Let her see that it helped. So that way we can encourage her to maybe do more lives like this, maybe one more time before the end of the year, so we can get everything that God has for us. I will throw it back to my big sis. Thank you, sis, for doing this live. I know it helped me if it didn't help nobody else, but I really want y'all to comment below. Let her know, because she did not want to do this. It's not something that she normally does. She was super like, oh my God, I'm going to make people upset, or I don't know what's going to go on. And I want her to know that you guys appreciate that kind of information, that you guys appreciate that from her. It's going to give her that little extra boost to be able to give more information in a more consistent way, maybe, for those of you guys who really want to see me, right? Everything. Huh?
I said you pushing me. I see what you're doing. So y'all, we gonna get off of here. I don't even have nothing else to say. Shantae thinks she's slick. Because what we talked about this evening is really, really just the surface. It is so much more, because we've been talking a lot, and Shantae knows that behind the scenes, I'm doing a lot of things when it comes to manifestation. And some of y'all might think that they are probably weird and crazy, but you would have to open your mind to completely understand. So she thinks she's slick by saying what she's saying, because she wants me to do more, and she wants me to continue to go deeper and deeper. But we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, it's 11 o'clock and it's past both of our bedtimes. So we're going to hop off. I do want to definitely say, though, I love you and I appreciate you for pushing me to do this, because I was like, hell no, I won't go. And it's crazy because out of nowhere, it just dropped in my spirit, and I wouldn't be surprised, because I've been teaching Shantae manifestation, if that didn't have anything to do with me out of nowhere popping up and saying that I wanted to do this. So I hope that y'all have an amazing evening. I love you, boo. Good night, and we will see you all another time. Deuces.